Anybody comes in today, it's 2 o'clock. Everybody should be picking their kids up from school. And I am out doing a little First Amendment experiment. In Los Gatos, the area is very heavily Democratic, meaning people typically vote for the Democratic Party here. And the people working in local government are also traditionally more of leaning to vote towards Democratic. So I came out here to this house in Los Gatos, which is very controversial because the owner flies a lot of political signs that are supportive of a more conservative narrative and view. And it's a cute little Victorian in a very nice, expensive neighborhood in Los Gatos. And when I came up here today, there were some people that actually came in from San Jose because they wanted to see the house, and that there were a lot of people. And so what I'm recording out here is I'm recording neighbors talking, sharing leaflets, expressing their political views, and this is as a First Amendment America as it gets. So the neighbors here, there's even a cars are decked out with speech, that's First Amendment. But if you look at the rest of the block, they don't tend to try to have as much paraphernalia, political signs. They might have one or two, like we showed yesterday when we were up at Ann Ravel's house. And so it was fascinating to me to just watch these people pull up at this house and have a political debate over a white picket fence. And then I find out that the woman who stopped used to work for attorneys in Los Gatos. And so she shared with me some of her experiences related to expressing political views when Justice Kavanaugh was up for confirmation. So that's the house. It's very controversial in Los Gatos because of political speech issues. These are the other kinds of neighbors in the house. They don't usually have a lot of signs out in front. And this is where speech is the most important and should be the most protected. And we are seeing retaliation. There's more speech. The people who are building that big house, the builder puts up his advertising sign. That's commercial speech. This is political speech. And we got to remember that First Amendment speech, when it is the minority opinion in a certain area, needs to be the most protected. And I've been doing records requests and seeing how the government retaliates over speech issues. The one thing that happened at this house that I started to follow was one of the neighbors was so upset with the political views of the owner that they went up to that camera and stole her security camera, and she got a restraining order and went into court. She got it the first time after she disqualified Judge Geffen. And if you watch my videos, you'll know about Judge Geffen. And then the woman who stole the camera was very upset because her political views were completely contrary to the homeowners. And so she stole her camera and she acted violently and she got subject to a restraining order. She hired an attorney by the name of Nicole Ford, who we're talking about a lot in these videos. And this is the house. And I watched a San Jose Mercury reporter come up to report on what was going on at the time. And I have to say, I felt that they were a little biased. Because as a reporter, it is not our job to express a political opinion about who we would vote for or what political beliefs we have. It is our job to share the word and the information about protected speech. Are people able to freely express their views, opinions, and ideas in their neighborhoods, or do they have to fear being arrested, retaliated against, code enforcement sent out on them, and that kind of thing? So yesterday I did the judge campaign of Jay Borski. I just filmed outside of the house of Ann Ravel in Los Gatos. This is another area of Los Gatos. So I'm showing you kind of the politics and what it looks like. But you don't get any more protected speech than neighbors talking to neighbors about their political views and ideas, not just nationally, but locally. And so I went live because I do know that this woman has faced retaliation, and I was interested in whether or not she would be facing some retaliation if I was recording out from here. And so I wanted to see if the Los Gatos police would show up. They didn't show up all day long when I was recording yesterday outside Ann Ravel's house. And that surprised me a little bit. Oh, and I also want to let you guys know that while I was recording and that video was very bad and interrupted because of where Ann's house is, there was a photographer inside who recorded everything Jay Borski said. And we're going to put that video together because we haven't had an ability to talk about politics without interference from that bar bench media police committee that people like Jay Borski and the district attorney and all the judges were in and running for a very long time. Sam Liccardo went there, Dave Cortese went there. By the way, more speech. This house is for rent. And one of the things that we know is that one of the ways that this woman has faced retaliation is from code enforcement when she was renting out rooms in her house, which Airbnb and all these other places now do all the time. They made her shut down. They put her under restraining orders. Her neighbors complained about her, and you can see the area. So I'm trying to explain to you as we go into elections and everybody's focused on the national elections, the most important elections that there are to talk about are the elections in our local communities for judges, for mayors, for district attorneys, for sheriff's deputies, for supervisors, for counties, and the culture of those people. And oh, and plus I can get this butterfly because it's super cute, and they do have really cute gardens, and I love filming the houses around here. But this is the woman's house. She freely distributes leaflets. I've filmed that this morning. She's faced a lot of retaliation. She did get a restraining order. Oh, and I want to add this. She got a restraining order, and when she reached out to the district attorney for services, which would be as easy as replacing her security camera, the district attorney did not give her any services. So they denied her services. She repeatedly called. And yesterday, and this will be in one of my upcoming videos, when Jay Borski was asked about that related to the Los Gatos party mom case, one of the women said that they have been waiting 4 years and victim services was a hot mess. So victim services being a hot mess is what I have been reporting on for a long time. It got moved into the district attorney's office in 2015. And I was investigating state and federal grant money being taken from them and not going to crime victims. And stories like hers, when the neighbor steals her security camera and they could help her with security to feel more safe and secure when she's under a restraining order, they just simply don't do it because of political views. So, you know, aesthetically, a lot of people would prefer houses that don't have a lot of political signs in front. And when you make a statement to express your political views, you may face some retaliation. So we're sometimes more comfortable talking about flowers and exterior parts of our home and not speech. But I wanted to capture this moment because I thought it was a really important one. These are just two people that came over to talk to her. They had heard about her house, and they're being supportive, and they're sharing their views and ideas. And they're going to post pictures of it on social media, and that is First Amendment, baby, all the way. And this is what First Amendment looks like locally. So we're watching the retaliation, the reaction from the government. We're watching to make sure that it's fair. And the one place that everybody should always be treated fairly is when they're victims of crime. And that is not happening in Santa Clara County. And that is not happening because our district attorney, Jeff Rosen, took over managing and supervising that department. And I am very critical of that and will continue to be, because they are just failing crime victims over and over again. So this is the Trump house in Los Gatos. It is very controversial. It is very well known, and people actually come here like a little tourist attraction, and it differs from all the other homes in the neighborhood. So thank you. We had 301 people in, 46 people. I'm going to stand in the shade. I know that if you guys are expressing your opinions in the comments about who you prefer, nationally, I hope you're listening to me about doing that locally and talking to your neighbors and not getting it to the point where someone's going to go and steal your security cameras or the government's going to retaliate. But this is a First Amendment, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 325 people watching, and I'm going to leave this up. Yesterday I took down the one on Jay Borski's house. It had bad video and I wasn't very happy with it, but over 37,000 people watched it overnight without an open public link, so you guys all found it anyway, so this one I'll leave out. But this is it, baby. This is First Amendment all the way. White picket fence. Lady in the white used to work for lawyers in Los Gatos. We've talked off record about that, and we're looking at the district attorney not providing victim services because of this woman's political views. So I'm going to go do one more live outside of a place in Campbell that's a little secret surprise. So if you can stick with me, I'm going to do 2 lives today. This is the first one, Los Gatos, First Amendment, protected speech, signs, leaflets, and conversation over the fence. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one. I think you're really going to like it.